Hi friends, my name is Pinaki and thank you very much for clicking ABC Learning English Solution. Friends, today on this video we are going to discuss about one of the most important sections of English grammar, which is called subject-verb agreement. Friends, if you are an English learner or if you are Wbcs, BCS or Ssc Cgl aspirants, this video is going to be very helpful, very effective for you. Because we have to face at least 5 or 6 questions from this section, and I will discuss about 40 rules which are very essential for the learners, and if you know all these rules very carefully, very clearly, you will be able to answer all these questions in those exams. So my dear friends, without wasting time, let's get started. Friends, in every English sentence there must be an independent clause. Independent clause means there must be a subject and must be a verb. There may be the object or complement or not, that's not a matter. But there must be a subject and a verb. Just I am going to write down an example. Just look at this. I know the boy. Friends, I have written here I know the boy. In this part you can see I is the subject, know is the verb, and this is the object of this sentence. So there is a subject and a verb. That means the conditions of being a clause, it is successful here, and it has a perfect or individual meaning. It has a perfect sense. That's why it is called an independent clause. And in this clause you can see, my dear friend, I have written one subject and one verb, and the condition is that in a sentence the verb must agree with the subject in numbers and also in persons, and we have to know about all these things at first, then we can choose our verb. So friends, in an English sentence there must be an independent clause. Maybe there is a dependent clause or not, but there must be an independent clause. You can see this clause is independent clause, or you can say it's the principal clause or sometimes main clause, it is said. But if we write down I know the boy who reads in class 4. Friends, you can see I have written here, I have just extended the sentence. I have written here I know the boy who reads in class 4. So in this part you can see I have written who reads in class 4. This part is called subordinate clause. Subordinate clause or dependent clause, because it does not have any complete sense. The sentence is incomplete. But there is also the subject and also the verb. Our duty is to choose the proper verb according to the subject. So my dear friends, the verb must agree with the subject in number and person. You can see I have written here the subject must agree with the verb in the sentence. They must agree in 2 ways. Number 1 is in numbers. There are 2 types of numbers. There is singular number and plural number. If the subject is singular, the verb will also be singular. If the subject is plural, then the verb will be plural. And also we have to think about the person. So there are 3 types of person: first person, second person and third person. First person singular is I and plural we. Second person singular and plural both you, and third person he, she, it, maybe any names. So all these are third person. So whenever we'll try to arrange the words, we'll try to arrange subject and verb, we have to think about these 2 parts. So friends, you can see I have written here some of the examples. So in the first example you can see I have written I am reading. So I is the first person singular number, and that's why I have written am. With first person singular number we use am. Next one, you are playing. You, this is the second person, maybe singular, maybe plural. So with second person singular or plural number we use are. That's why I have written are. You are playing. In the next one, he plays football. So he is the third person singular number. That is why we have written the singular verb, that is plays football. You know friends, in present indefinite tense or present simple tense, if the verb is third person singular number, we add s or es with the verb. Sometimes we add s, sometimes we add es with the verb if the subject is third person singular number. If it is plural, then it will be plural verb. So same thing here, John, this is the third person singular number and the verb is also singular. Next one, we go to school. We, that is first person plural. That's why we have written plural verb. Next one, they, third person plural, we have written plural verb. So friends, the rule is that if the subject is singular, we have to use the singular verb. If the subject is plural, we have to use. But my dear friends, there are some exceptions and we have to know those exceptions very carefully. So friends, this is the very common rule. If in a sentence the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb must be plural. But there are some exceptions. Let's look at the board. So friends, if the sentence express any imaginations, any imaginary idea or any supposition, we have to use the plural verb. We cannot use the singular verb with the singular subject. Just look at this. So friends, you can see this. Here I have written, I wish I were a poet. It means I am not a poet. I am imagining to be a poet. Here the subject is I, wish, I is the singular subject and wish is the singular verb. This is not imagination. Just I wish. I have written I wish. This is not imagination. This part is imagination. This is the imaginary part. Here you can see the subject is I. It is singular. Singular subject. First person singular. So we should write down am. We should write down am. But the sentence is imaginary sentence. That's why we have to write down were. Where, not was, not was. We have to write down where. In the second sentence, the same thing. I wish I were the Prime Minister of India. That means I am not the Prime Minister of India. I am imagining to be the Prime Minister of India. That's why we have to write down where here, not was. Generally, I is followed by was, but we cannot write down as this is a supposition. You see, this is an imaginary sentence. In the second part you can see if the verb bless, save, help, live, these types of verb when express good wishes. These types of verb express good wishes. At that time we have to use the plural form of the verb. Just look at the example, God. So God, we all know that God is third person singular number. So the verb must be singular. But you just think about the conditions. The verb save, help, bless, live. These types of words just express good ideas, good wishes. That's why we have to use the plural verb. These are the exceptions. So God, this is the third person singular form. We have to write down save, not saves. God saved the man. God saved the man, not God saves the man. Here God helped the person, not helps the person. If we write down he, we have to write down is. But these are the conditions, we have to remind it. In the next part you can see when dare and need, you know, these are modal auxiliaries, and whenever these two words are used as modal auxiliaries in the sentence, we cannot add s with it. Just look at the example. He third person singular number, we have written need, not needs. We cannot write down needs. He need not to go there. We cannot write down needs. We cannot write down. Second one, she dare not to oppose you. You know, dare and need, these are the modal auxiliaries. Here also these words are used as modal auxiliaries, so we cannot use s with it. Maybe the subject is third person singular number, we cannot use add with it. We all know, friends, the basic rule of the agreement is, if the subject is singular, verb will be singular. If the subject is plural, verb will also be plural. But these three are the exceptions. We cannot apply those rules in these parts. Just remind it. And we have to face so many questions from this portion. So be careful about this one. So friends, if we want to learn subject verb agreement properly, we have to know at least 40 rules. So in one video we cannot disclose all these rules. That's why I'll discuss about 5 to 6 rules today on this video, and in some other videos we'll discuss the rest. So friends, in the first rule, look at the first rule. The first one is subject and subject, then plural verb. It means if there are two subjects and these two subjects are joined by and, we have to use the plural verb. Just look at the example. John and Ian, we have written are friends. So John is a subject, third person singular number. Ian is another subject, a noun. That means John is a noun, Ian is a noun, and these two nouns are joined by and. That's why we have written the plural verb. John and Ian are friends. In the second rule, noun and noun refer same person. My dear friends, this is very important. At first we learned, if there are two nouns and joined by and, we have to write down the plural verb. In the second rule, we are saying, if two nouns are added by and they refer the same person, if it happens, the verb will be singular. Just look at the example. The poet and painter is very famous. Here in this sentence, my dear friends, the poet and painter, this is the same person. The poet is also the painter. There you can see two separate words, two separate nouns, but this means only one person. That's why we have to write down is. The poet and painter is very famous. We cannot write down are, because friends, you have to look at the use of articles before the nouns. At first, here in this part, poet is a noun and before that there is a definite article. Here there is no such article. If these two were separate person, there would be another article. There would be another article. The poet and the painter. Here these two persons are separate. Two persons are there, the poet and the painter. But in the sentence it is not written. Only one article is there. That's why it represents only one person. It means the poet is also the painter, or you can say the painter is also the poet. That means the person is having two different qualities. So this is the same person, we have to use is. In the second sentence you can see the principal and secretary. The same thing here, the principal It is the post, it is also one of the post in school or colleges, and also the secretary. That is also a separate post. But look at the use of the article. The is written at the beginning. The principal and secretary, it carries the meaning the person is the principal and also the secretary of the school. That means this is one person carrying two posts. One is of the principal and also he is the secretary. That means the same person is carrying two different posts. As the person is same, so we have to write down is. That's why we have written the principal and the secretary is absent today. We cannot write down are. If we want to write down are, there should be another the or the principal and the secretary. If the sentence is written the principal and the secretary, then we have to write down are. But here it is not written the. So the verb is singular one. Just look at the next one. Rule number 3. Noun plus noun refer different persons. Just the opposite of rule 2. Noun plus noun. Here noun plus noun refer the same person. Here noun plus noun refer different persons. If two nouns refer different persons, so we have to write down the plural verb. Here you can see the principal and the secretary were present there. Just look at this, my dear friends. Here the principal and here the secretary, both words are joined by and. So this is a noun and this is a noun. As this word is carrying a definite article and this one is also carrying another definite article, so here we have to say these are two persons, not the same person. So these are two persons, that's why the verb is plural. We have written were present there. The principal and the secretary were present there, not was. In the second one, a boy and a singer are going there. Here look at this sentence, friends. Boy is carrying one indefinite article, that is a, and the singer is also carrying another article a. It means these are two separate persons, not a person. The boy, he is also the boy, and the boy is also the singer. We cannot say it. Boy is also a noun, singer is also a noun, and both are carrying different articles. So this means these are two persons. So we have to write down are. So this part is just opposite of rule 2. Just think about the difference, try to understand the difference, and you will be able to answer the questions very clearly or comfortably. Here rule number 4, another rule, very important rule. Two identical nouns express the same idea. If the nouns are identical means you can say resemble and looks like same. If two identical nouns express the same idea, at that time the verb must be singular one. The verb must be singular. Maybe the nouns, maybe these are two nouns, but they are expressing the same idea. Just look at the example. The path and journey, that is also a noun. Journey, that is also another noun, and these two nouns are expressing the same idea, that is the path and the journey to glory needs hard work. That means if you wanna soar up in your life, you have to do hard work. It means, my dear friends, it means you have to do hard work if you wanna glorify your life. That means here path and journey both expressing the same idea, that is glorifying your life. That's why we have to use the singular verb. You can see I have written singular verb, needs. We cannot write down here need.